Ever wondered how a river splits a country in half? Or why an archipelago hides a time zone secret? Buckle up as we dive into mind-blowing borders, secret enclaves, and wild terrain, like Argentina's 22-kilometer stretch of madness, a time system so confusing it defies logic, and one nation with 22 overseas territories you've never heard of.
What if a single river carved through the same valley not once, but twice? This bizarre phenomenon happens in India's Arunachal Pradesh, where the Dibang River splits the Dibang Valley twice. The valley stretches over 60 miles through some of the most rugged terrain in the world. The Himalayas, which rise over 23,000 feet nearby, shape the river's unusual path. This rare geographic phenomenon makes the valley look like it's been folded, with the same river flowing through it twice in different directions. If you drove the full length of the valley, it would take you more than 2 hours, longer than the drive from New York City to Newark. Now you're wondering, what's the weirdest geography fact in your country? What if a country had 18,000 islands, but only 1,000 had names? Welcome to Indonesia, the world's largest archipelago, with approximately 17,000 islands scattered across the Indian and Pacific Oceans. But here's the twist, only a few thousand of those islands are officially named and mapped. The rest are unnamed, uncharted, and often untouched, some so small they vanish with the tides. These islands are like nature's hidden secrets, appearing at high tide and disappearing at low tide. To put it in perspective, Indonesia's archipelago is smaller than the entire continent of Europe. So, what's hidden in those few thousand unnamed islands? Who knows, but the mystery is what makes Indonesia so incredible. Did you know India spans approximately 1,881 miles from east to west, yet uses just one time zone? The country's easternmost point is nearly 2 hours ahead of its westernmost point, but everyone follows the same clock. India officially follows Indian Standard Time, 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of UTC, despite covering a massive geographic range. This single time zone creates a sunrise difference of over 2 hours between Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat. If India used multiple time zones, the western city of Jaisalmer would not be in a different day than the eastern city of Itanagar during sunrise. This decision was made to promote national unity and simplify communication across the vast and diverse country. What's the most surprising geographic fact about your country? Comment below, and don't forget to share. Did you know a single island chain has caused 2 countries to dispute sovereignty for over 180 years? The Falkland Islands have a total land area of about 4,700 square miles, about the size of San Francisco. They sit over 12,000 miles from the nearest British mainland, far from anywhere. Argentina has claimed the islands for over 200 years, but the UK has controlled them since 1833. In 1982, Argentina invaded the islands, and the UK sent a fleet of 60 ships across 10,000 miles of ocean to fight back. The islands are so remote, it would take a commercial jet over 20 hours to fly from London to the Falklands. And scientists still can't explain why the Falkland Islands have such a unique mix of wildlife, including penguins, sea lions, and rare birds, in the middle of the ocean. What's the most surprising border dispute in your country? Did you know Russia has more exclaves than any other country in the world? Russia has a number of exclaves located in several neighboring countries. The largest of these is Kaliningrad, a territory slightly smaller than Connecticut. But some of these exclaves are tiny, like the Russian village of Chetirektum in Latvia, which is smaller than a city block. The tiniest Russian exclave is the last house in Poland, a single house surrounded completely by Polish territory. Imagine driving through 5 different countries just to reach all of Russia's exclaves. How many exclaves does your country have? Comment below. Did you know France is the country with the most time zones in the world? 12 in total. That's right, the country that fits inside Germany alone controls 12 different time zones. France has 20 overseas territories spread across 4 continents, from the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean. These territories are so far-flung that they cross 12 different time zones, more than any other nation. And here's the kicker, France is not the smallest country in the EU by land area, yet it holds the world record for time zones. Imagine flying from one French territory to another and losing or gaining nearly a full day. 12 time zones, and it's still among the largest EU countries. What's the weirdest geography fact about your country? Did you know one of the smallest countries in the world only touches one other nation? Vatican City is about 120 acres in size, about the size of a small college campus. It is completely surrounded by Rome, Italy, and only Italy shares a border with this sovereign city-state. Despite being the spiritual center of over 1 billion Catholics, the Vatican has no border with any country besides Italy. That makes it the world's only microstate with a single neighbor, a unique geographic fact few people know. To put it in perspective, Vatican City is about the size of 17 football fields, and it fits inside Central Park in New York City. So, what's the weirdest geography fact about your country? What if a country were just 20 kilometers wide at its narrowest point? Bangladesh is one of the world's most surprising countries. It stretches over 55,000 square miles, yet at its narrowest, it's just 20 kilometers wide. Surrounded by India on 3 sides and the Bay of Bengal to the south, Bangladesh is a land of rivers and fertile plains. Despite its narrow width, Bangladesh is home to over 171 million people, more than the entire population of Canada. You could drive across its narrowest point in under 20 minutes, yet it remains one of the most densely populated countries on Earth. That's right, a country just 20 kilometers wide holds more people than the entire population of the United Kingdom. What's the most mind-blowing geography fact about your country? Comment below. Did you know the narrowest point between Portugal and Spain is just over 13 kilometers wide? This happens at the village of Badajoz in Spain, where the border between the two Iberian neighbors is almost non-existent. The Guadiana River forms the border there, and at its narrowest point, the border between Portugal and Spain is still too wide to throw a stone across. Travelers can walk across the border without even realizing they've changed countries, it's all on the same street. This unique border is the result of centuries of treaties and shifting political boundaries between the two nations. And here's the kicker, the border remains a continuous line on the ground, not mid-air. What's the weirdest border in your country? Comment below, we're dying to hear it. Did you know the only country bordering the United States has no bridges or tunnels? The Bahamas shares a border with the US, though the exact length is not commonly defined in miles as it is a maritime border, yet no bridges connect the two. The Bahamas is made up of 700 islands, but several islands are connected to the mainland via ferry services. The closest point to Florida is approximately 50 nautical miles away, but building a bridge is impossible due to shallow coral reefs. Despite this, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas in 2023, including many from the United States by boat or plane. That's more visitors than the entire population of Miami, all without a single bridge. What other strange border facts does your country hide? Comment below. Did you know Brazil is so wide it has 4 time zones, and one changes with the seasons? From the coast of Rio de Janeiro to the western edge of Acre, Brazil spans about 2,684 miles, that's narrower than the continental United States. Officially, Brazil has 3 time zones, but during daylight saving time, a 4th appears in the southern region, making it one of the few countries with 4 time zones including daylight saving time. Because of its extreme width, the sun rises in the east 10 hours before it reaches the westernmost point, imagine noon in the east and midnight in the west, all in the same country. Only Brazil and Russia use daylight saving time zones, but Brazil is the only one with 4, and the only one where the sun can rise 10 hours earlier in the same country. To put that into perspective, Brazil is so wide that if you drove from east to west, it would take you over 30 hours, non-stop. Now you know why Brazil has 4 time zones, but what's the weirdest geography fact in your country? Did you know one country's flag is one of the few in the world without a border? Bhutan's national flag is one of the few globally that doesn't have a border line, and it looks nothing like the rectangular flags you know. The flag features a dragon holding 4 jewels, symbolizing the king's power and wisdom. Bhutan is a landlocked country in the eastern Himalayas, surrounded by India and China, with a population of approximately 786,385 people. The flag's orange and white colors represent bravery and purity, rooted in Bhutanese Buddhist traditions. And here's the kicker: the thunder dragon on the flag is said to be a guardian spirit, and the flag is one of the few national flags that is not rectangular or square. What other hidden geography facts does your country hold? Comment below. Did you know only one country in the world shares borders with all 3 Baltic states? That country is Poland, and it's the only one in the world to touch Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia at once. Poland's border with Lithuania is approximately 130 miles long. And along the Baltic coast, Poland's shoreline extends over 150 miles. This unique position has made Poland a key historical and cultural bridge between Eastern and Western Europe. Yet most people don't realize Poland is the only country to touch all 3 Baltic states at once. What's the weirdest geography fact about your country? A single river divides one town between 2 countries and also splits it in half. Welcome to Zardanu, a town on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan, split by the Aras River. The Aras River is approximately 666 miles long, but it creates a dramatic political divide. Despite being separated by just a river, residents on opposite sides need a passport to visit each other's homes. This border is more than just a line on a map, it's a legacy of centuries of conflict and shifting control. The river is so narrow in some places that you could throw a stone across it, but not a person without a passport. What's the weirdest border in your country? Comment below. What if I told you the closest capital to Wellington is approximately 1,200 miles away? Wellington is one of the most isolated capital cities in the world, but it is not the most isolated. The nearest capital is Canberra, Australia, a distance of approximately 1,200 miles across the Tasman Sea. Wellington sits at the southern tip of New Zealand's North Island, surrounded by mountains, ocean, and no other major cities nearby. To put that into perspective, you could drive from New York to Miami and still not cover the distance to Canberra. Wellington is a walkable and compact capital city, but it is not among the most walkable in the world. What's the most isolated capital in your country? Comment below.